Good day. Welcome to Don't Forget Your Roots. My name is Mark Miller. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Merit Clubs. We have 9 locations based in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm also the Rex GM Roundtable Facilitator, and I've been a member of the Rex crew team and part of the Rex Roundtables for the last 17 years. I'm excited today to be able to share with you a little bit about culture and what I call Don't Forget Your Roots. 2020 has been a crazy year for all of us, and an unprecedented year in our lifetimes, and hopefully a year that we will never ever see again. And it's really changed the way we've done business for a lot of us, and will continue to adapt and change for us moving forward into the future. What you can tell is that today there's a lot of stress, fear, anxiety, angst, worry about the unknown. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. People not sure when this virus is going to end, if there's going to be a second wave. People really worried about their businesses, about their jobs, about their livelihood and all that. There's a term out there called VUCA. And what we try to do in the Rex Roundtables is we try to talk about this and how we adapt and move our businesses. VUCA really stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Some people sometimes will substitute competitive in there, but I thought in this sense that it's complex. The world today is a volatile world, right? There's a lot of things that are changing and moving at lightning speeds. And if you just think about where your business was as of February 2020 and where it is today, August of 2020, a lot has changed. We've adapted, we've moved and all that. Yet there is a lot of uncertainty as we move forward into the future. We're still working with government mandates and regulations. We're not sure what's going to happen. Health clubs are changing. If you listen to some of URSA's reports, health clubs are going to be going out of business. Some will be advancing. So there's a lot of complexity that goes into this as well with, what's this new consumer look like? What is this landscape going to look like? What's this future going to look like? So that leads to the ambiguous part. And we really just don't know. However, what we do know is that the bigger the challenge, the bigger the opportunity. And if we take a moment and we just pause, we ground ourselves, and we look at this as an opportunity. Everyone that's part of the Rex Roundtables, you guys are just great operators, just unbelievable people. Your hearts are in the right place. We do things for the right reasons and we do the right things. And because of it, there is going to be some great opportunities that come out of this. And I think we can capitalize on it. What I'd like to share is 4 steps that I thought were relevant to helping you get through this VUCA situation and really start to adjust your sales and move forward. So the first one is, I'd like to steal something from Jeff Bezos. And, with Amazon, he had a saying where he called it day one. What I'd like to do is I'd like to think of this as day one. It's a fresh start. It is something of looking forward into the future and what we can do. And what we have to remember is that all of our organizations were built on culture. Our purpose, our visions, our values, these are the things that created the foundation for us, and these are the things that should not change. There was a saying that I once heard that said, a ship sinks not because of water, but because the water gets into it. And at these times, and when stress is happening and all that, a lot of times this is where we start to see the breakdown in the foundations. Staff gets stressed. They start to have what I'd like to call the parking lot conversations. People are uncertain and there's fear. They like to make things up. And what we need to do as leaders is we need to ground them. And the way we do that is we go back to our culture and we get realigned. We get true again. And so if you think about it like a ship, we're going to bring it back into harbor safely. So the first thing is that we have to get refocused on our purpose and our vision. And, that vision may have adapted a little bit, but the true purpose of why we do things and why we got into business is probably the same today as it has been, 6 months ago. Now, the critical piece is that we need to make sure that our behaviors are matching our values. So when we're in stressful situations, it is real easy to react. And then sometimes you can overreact or over course correct. And this is where the leadership really comes in. And what we need to make sure we do is we do things that are for the right reasons. Let's not just cut our way to success. You know, there's opportunities for expense containment, but there's also opportunities for revenue drive. So we have to make sure that we're doing the right things. We have to get recentered on our why. You know, why did we get into this business? Why are we doing the things? What are we really trying to achieve with our organizations, our businesses, and for our members and our team members? You know, reignite that passion in yourself and your team. And so when you're coming from a place of passion, what ends up happening is you think differently and you don't make rash decisions, but you make smart decisions. And that's what we're looking to do. The other part we have to remember is that, you know what, this is a new normal, yet it's a huge opportunity. And so, you know, this gave us an opportunity to adapt and, you know, change our businesses for the better. You know, we've learned what we need and what we can get rid of. So there, you know, there's an old thing that we used to do where it's start, stop, and continue. And this is a good opportunity to say, okay, in this new normal, what are the things we need to start doing? What are the things we need to stop doing? And then what are the things we need to continue doing? Because there's a lot of things that we are doing good. The second step that I'd like to get into is, you know, looking at that the health club industry is going to be anew. And we have to understand that. And so years ago, the boutiques came in and disrupted a lot of us health clubs. We had the high volume, low price players. We had the middle price clubs. We had the high end clubs. And then we had the boutiques. You know, now we have the digital market. And, you know, we've all adapted and advanced. And, you know, members have learned to consume fitness differently. So what we need to do is we need to understand that, hey, look, it's new. And yet we've all been here. You know, we all are smart enough and we know what to do. So we don't want things to go back to what they were, because it's almost like we're dragging the anchor of the ship. You know, we want to keep moving forward. In order to move forward, you have to adapt, you have to change, and you have to adjust. And so, you know, if you're not growing, you're dying is one of the sayings. So here's the opportunity. You know, the opportunity that lies before us. However, we got to be willing to look at it with fresh eyes. And we got to get over our blind spots. And sometimes those blind spots can get in our way. However, the key again is we don't want to change who we are. We want to change who our business is, right? How we behave. You know, our values and our purpose still remain the foundation of success. That's what we're building off of. And so we have to make sure that we continue to do that. The next thing is we have to look at how do we build for the future. If we are just focused on the present, what will happen is we'll end up tripping over ourselves. And so what we need to do is really look at the future. And this is where we start to get into things, right? So this is a journey, it's a marathon. It's no longer going to be a sprint. Now we have to change the narrative on our members. We have to re-engage them again. We have to make them understand that health clubs are safe, that we're clean, that we're essential. And so what we have to do is first solidify our core. You know, make sure that our culture and our employees are aligned and we're doing what we're doing. Then we have to get clear on the vision of the future. What do we want our business to look like? What are we looking to do? Then let's make sure that we have the right staff in the right seats. You know, then let's adjust the systems, right? The systems and structure are what our employees are going to run, but let's make sure that it makes the businesses easy and that they can do that so they can focus on creating an experience and doing what we know that they need to do for our members. And then it's simple. We rinse and repeat this. We keep doing it, we keep learning from it, we keep adapting, and that's the critical piece. The piece is that we have to learn as quickly as we fail at something. We have to keep adjusting our sails. So just like you do when you're sailing, you're constantly tacking your sails and your ship back and forth. You're doing the same thing with your business. You're constantly adjusting it and moving it and making sure that your culture is what drives the decisions. So adaptation doesn't mean abandonment, right? If you think about McDonald's, you know, they've always been in the real estate business. However, their look, their feel, their businesses have always adapted over the years, as has their pricing. We can learn a lot from that. Let's not continue to build health clubs the way we've always built them. Let's think and learn from the world. Let's think and learn from other businesses. Let's think outside the box and not do it the way it's always been done. Let's adapt, but don't abandon the core mission of exercise being an essential part of people's lives, about us treating it as the third place, and how our businesses are there to serve people and provide them, a place to feel healthy, create socialization and all that. Thinking about a simple thing is, sometimes we forget that when we have a mask on that we still need to smile. And, we're not abandoning customer service just because people can't see our smiles. We have to smile underneath the mask, and they can see it through our eyes and through our body language. So, let's adapt, let's not abandon. The fourth step is something that, as we're learning and adapting, that we don't probably do enough of, but in the Navy SEALs and in all the military teams, they use a thing called the after action review. And like any good team, we have to evaluate and adjust. And so, a lot of times we want to do things the way we've always done it. So January comes and we're going to run a zero enrollment because we've always run a zero enrollment. Well, you know what? Let's learn and adapt. Let's think about it differently. What's the marketing message? What are we trying to truly do? Why do we have to have these ups and down months? Why can't we create a sustainable business? Why can't we create something that people want to come to versus have to come to? Let's create a culture that employees want to work for and they want to be part of something larger, and we can make a tremendous impact. So, let's learn and adapt to not only our environments, to our world, and then we practice. We constantly practice these things, and we don't just try to do it in the moment. We try to make it so that it's a habit. And new habits take time to form, they take time to develop, and they take reinforcement. And sometimes as leaders, we forget that people need to be reminded more than they need to be coached. And the other part is, as part of this whole thing, as part of a culture, we have to start to trust our employees a little bit more. And we have to make sure that they understand that failure is an option, that it's okay to try something and it's okay to fail. And what we want them to do is play offense and not just defense. I remember years ago in a Super Bowl game, watching the Atlanta Falcons come out to this huge, huge lead against the New England Patriots. And, after they came out at halftime, they went into defense mode, just trying to prevent things from happening, where the Patriots played offense the whole time. Well, we all know what ended up happening. The Super Bowl was won by the New England Patriots. And, it was a good lesson and a good reminder for me, and hopefully for all of you guys, that, we have to play offense. We have to keep attacking this thing and keep trying to figure out how we make health clubs, fitness centers, exercise a part of people's lives. And, we know that people are running into stress nowadays. We know that obesity is a factor. We know all these things, yet we still don't seem to get everybody. So let's figure out and use this as an opportunity to do some review and then take some actions on some new things. Lastly, I want to remind everybody that, when you act on purpose, when you build your business on culture first, that the critical component is that as a owner or as a leader, you have to live it. And when you live it, it's not just to live it at the office. It's you have to live it in everything you do. True character is when you do things for the right reasons when nobody is looking. And that's where someone's true character shines through. So you don't do something because there's an advantage to you. You do it because it's the right thing to do. And so, your culture and your purpose and your values of your organization need to be lived on a daily basis, not just at office, not just at work, but we have to get our employees to live this. It has to become part of who they are. And if we do that, we can truly make a difference. And, I just wanted to remind everybody that, the opportunity that we have before us is to really take our organizations and really move them to a new level. but this is going to require a different type of thinking. And what we have to do is clear our minds, and we have to open our minds and open our hearts to a new way of doing things. And so my challenge to everybody is, as we continue to move forward, let's take a moment and pause and ask yourself the question of, are you doing this because it's the easy thing to do? Are you doing this because it's the thing that you've habitually done? Or are you doing this because now is something new? And this is going to help propel our organizations into the future. Let's really challenge our thinking. Let's really get outside the box. Let's learn from other industries. Let's do what we've always done in Rex, and let's accelerate the growth and advancement of our businesses, of our personal selves, and of our organizations. Thank you, guys. God bless.